For the interest of time, we encourage you to read more about each of our awardees and their respective achievements in the program. We'll start off tonight with the Olin E. Teague Memorial Scholarship of $4,000. It's awarded to an outstanding high school student who intends to pursue higher education in science and technology. The 2020 recipient is Mr. Trevor Erwin. Mr. Erwin was a high school senior at John Jay Science and Engineering Academy in San Antonio. He's currently a student at the University of Texas at Austin. The 2021 recipient is Miss Emily Jackson. Ms. Jackson was a high school senior at Howard High School in Ellicott City, Maryland. She is currently a student at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Trevor Erwin and Miss Emily Jackson. Our next group of award winners were nominated and selected by peers and leaders in each of their respective fields of expertise. Honoring the first director of the National Reconnaissance Office, Dr. Joseph V. Charyk, award recognizes individuals who have made outstanding contributions to the National Intelligence Space Program in support of the NRO mission. The 2020 award goes to Mr. Michael Orr. Mr. Orr serves as the NRO's Director of Systems Engineering Directorate. The 2021 award goes to Colonel Sam Little. Colonel Little serves as the Deputy Director of NRO's Radar System Program Office. This is within the Geospatial Intelligence Systems Acquisition Directorate. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Orr and Colonel Sam Little. The NOAA David Johnson Award recognizes the achievements of young professionals who have shown outstanding innovation in the use of satellite data for operational environmental applications. The 2020 award is presented to Dr. Alejandro Egido. Dr. Egido, an employee of Global Science and Technology Incorporated, serves as the Jason Measurement System Engineer at the NOAA Laboratory for Satellite Altimetry, the NESDIS Center for Satellite Applications and Research, and the NOAA Center for Weather and Climate Prediction. The 2021 award goes to Dr. David Peterson. Dr. Peterson serves as a meteorologist for the Naval Research Laboratory's Marine Meteorology Division. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Alejandro Egido and Dr. David Peterson. The Space Club Educator Award was established to recognize the importance of teachers in motivating and guiding students. We present the 2020 award to Mrs. Deborah Morgan. Sorry, I put a Mrs. on there, didn't I? Ms. Morgan is an earth science, chemistry, and physics teacher at South Sevier High School in Monroe, Utah, and as well serves as an advisor and contributor to the Arizona State University and NASA SMD Infiniscope Educator program. The 2021 award goes to Mr. Matthew Hare. Mr. Harris serves as the Innovation Center Director at Platteville High School in Platteville, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Deborah Morgan and Mr. Matthew Hare. The Astronautics Engineer Award is presented annually in recognition of an aerospace engineer who has made outstanding contributions to the National Space Program in the field of engineering or engineering management. Tonight we honor 2020 award winner, Mr. Carl Preston Jones. Mr. Jones served as the Associate Director for Technical for NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center before his recent retirement. Congratulations. The 2021 award goes to Benjamin Reed. Mr. Reed is the Senior Director of Human Spaceflight Programs for SpaceX. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Carl Preston Jones and Mr. Benjamin Reed. Thank you. The National Space Club's Press Award recognizes sustained, decades-long excellence in journalism that has been supported and underscored the importance of our nation's endeavors in space. The 2020 award is presented to Mr. Bob Jacobs. Mr. Jacobs serves as the Deputy Associate Administrator of NASA's Office of Communications. The 2021 award goes to Ms. Marcia Smith. Ms. Smith is the founder and editor of Space Policy Online. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Jacobs and Ms. Marcia Smith. The Nelson P. Jackson Aerospace Award is presented to a government industry team that worked together during the preceding year to make an outstanding contribution to the missile, aircraft, or space field. The 2020 award is presented to the Event Horizon Telescope Collaboration Team. The team is respected on stage by founding director of the Event Horizon Telescope and senior research fellow for Harvard University's Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, Dr. Shepard Doliman. The Global Event Horizon Telescope Collaboration Team is led by the Center for Astrophysics, Harvard and Smithsonian, and includes a global collaboration of scientists and instruments that enable enhanced astronomic observations. The 2021 award goes to the Parker Solar Probe team. The team is represented on stage by two individuals, NASA Heliophysics Division Director, Dr. Nicola Fox, and Johns Hopkins APL's Parker Solar Probe Project Scientist, Dr. Nur Rawafi. Designed, built, and operated by the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory, NASA's Parker Solar Probe spacecraft flies directly through the solar corona for close-up observations of our star. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Shepard Doliman of the Event Horizon Telescope Collaboration Team, Dr. Nicola Fox, and Dr. Nur Rawafi of the Parker Solar Probe team. The Eagle Manned Mission Award was established in 1984 through a gift to the National Space Club Foundation. This gift by AXA Space honors the heroism and achievements of the STS-51A mission astronauts in recovering two failed satellites. Tonight we honor the 2020 award winner, Mr. Donald Reed. Unfortunately, he will not be able to join us tonight, so the 2021 award winner goes to Rajib Dasgupta and Matthew Strasberg. Mr. Dasgupta serves as the Materials and Processes System Manager for the Commercial Crew Program at NASA. Mr. Strasberg serves as the Manager of Materials Engineering at SpaceX. Ladies and gentlemen, our congratulations to Mr. Donald Reed, Mr. Rajib Dasgupta, and Mr. Matthew Strasberg. Before we acknowledge the winners of our next award, the General Bernard Schriever Award, I want to invite up to the podium a good friend and former colleague of the late chair of this award selection committee, General Thomas S. Moorman, Jr., who passed at the age of 79 last year. Please welcome National Space Club board member Pete Traynor.
Good evening. Over 2+ years since the last Goddard dinner, the nation's space community has seen the dramatic advances in every aspect of space enterprise, including the increasing role space plays in the nation's defense and security. We also saw the creation of a new military service, the United States Space Force, a momentous milestone in our nation's history. Tonight, we'd like to remember a military space leader whose passing in 2020 we mourn, but whose contributions to national security space are unrivaled. General Tom Moorman was a leader, a mentor, a visionary, and a friend. Over his 50+ years of service to the national security space community, his contributions, his zeal, and his impact on this enduring mission was second to none. He became the go-to space expert and leader that everyone sought out. He was instrumental in establishing Air Force Space Command, leading space policy, programs in the Pentagon, commanding space operations during the first Gulf War, and ultimately serving as Vice Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force. General Moorman had a long relationship with the National Space Club. The 1994 Goddard Trophy winner, it was his leadership and personal involvement that led to the club's Schriever Award. General Moorman championed and for over a decade chaired the Schriever Award Board. He ensured the support of national security space leaders to nominate their very best mid-career, officer or civilian serving in space operations or acquisition. No one was more dedicated to the future of defense and national security space and his next generation of space leaders than General Thomas S. Moorman, Jr. His lifelong contributions to space were so far-reaching that he was selected for the Goddard Trophy for a second time, but he quietly and emphatically declined. That was General Moorman, humble and self-effacing. We honor his contributions. We give thanks for the wisdom he shared and the passion he kindled in the future generations, and finally, for laying the foundation upon the United States Space Force will build and the nation's defense will rely. And on a personal moment, General Moorman, sir, every moment was a privilege. Thank you.
The General Bernard Schriever Award honors the father of the Air Force space and missile programs. The award highlights excellence in military space operations and acquisition. Tonight we recognize the 2020 award winner, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Kelly. All right, we got a good crowd here. Lieutenant Colonel Kelly served as the program manager of the Advanced Space Capability Systems of the Air Force Rapid Capabilities Office upon receipt of this award. The 2021 award goes to Lieutenant Colonel Marshall Tillis. Lieutenant Colonel Tillis most recently served as the chief of the NRO's Strategy and Plans Division. Unfortunately, he could not join us this evening, but we'll make sure he receives his award. Ladies and gentlemen, our congratulations to Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Kelly and Lieutenant Colonel Marshall Tillis. As we move on to the highest honors of the night, the Goddard Memorial Trophy, This next individual is honored for his exceptional service to his country and its space program. Our 2020 Goddard Memorial winner, Mr. William Gerstenmaier. All right, Gerst, this is kind of like a roast for a couple minutes. Bear with us. Mr. Gerstenmaier is a former senior NASA official, having served as NASA's Associate Administrator for Human Exploration and Operations from 2005 to 2019. During his role as the Associate Administrator for Space Operations, Mr. Gerstenmaier directed 21 space shuttle missions to complete the assembly of the International Space Station. Gerst also led ISS operations and the critically important coordination with NASA's international partners, a coalition of nations committed to the peaceful exploration of space. His contributions also included planning and development of the Space Launch System, Orion spacecraft, and exploration ground systems. In his copious free time, Gerst also provided strategic guidance and direction to the commercial crew and cargo programs, which develop capabilities to transfer payloads and people to and from the ISS. I am now pleased to present the 2020 Goddard Memorial Trophy to Mr. William Gerstenmaier.
Thank you for this wonderful award. Reflecting back on when I received this award in early 2020, we've all been through an amazingly challenging time. The dedication, perseverance, and change that this industry endured is nothing short of amazing. Who would have thought that we could continue to make progress in a virtual world? These challenges presented opportunities and to deliver and develop new operating models. We were forced into this virtual operating model by COVID. This required us to experiment with different ways of remote and in-person work. We can use these experiences to transform and advance our industry. The goal should not to be returned to the past, but to build off of what we learned and to excel and innovate. The goal should not be to return to the past, but again, go forward. Even this event is in a stadium is a real example of embracing change. It will be interesting to see if we return to the traditional format next year, or we choose to learn. I feel tremendously honored to receive this award, and I want to thank the folks in this stadium for allowing me to have led the human spaceflight for 14 years. When I was asked to move to Washington in 2005 and lead NASA's space operations, I had a million reasons why I was not the right person for the job. I wanted to stay in Houston and work human spaceflight from a more direct engineering standpoint. I gave it my best, and others might have done better. Now I'm in the private sector, and we're pushing every boundary that I was trained to never violate. I am pushing these boundaries to make us better and to learn. It is much easier to adhere to old practices and not explore new ways of doing business. I believe that we need to be willing to learn rather than to be forced to learn. We need to embrace the spirit of exploration and learning. We should openly embrace change and not wait for circumstances to force us to innovate. As I reflect back, I think forward. We as an industry are at a truly transformative inflection point. Human spaceflight is no longer the sole domain of large governments. Private companies and individuals are able to explore and experience human spaceflight. The SpaceX Inspiration 4 flight should be an inspiration to us all. It may have looked easy on the outside, but behind the scenes without NASA, it was extremely difficult and challenging. Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin are flying private crew members to space, and Boeing is close to having a commercial human spaceflight capability. The International Space Station has shown the power of working together. The Russians, our Cold War enemy, were critical in building the space station and keeping it functional. There's a small commercial market starting to be established in low Earth orbit. I saw a similar transition appear in the early shuttle era, but it disappeared. This time, we need the stamina to persevere and change our industry in a positive way. We need to make the vision that brought me to NASA a reality. We need to move humanity into the solar system in a sustainable way. We need to leverage what the private sector can accomplish. We need to include international partners, our industrial base. We can learn from the automotive, software, and consumer electronics industry. We can learn from COVID vaccine development and reinvent systems engineering. We must embrace change and excel. Diversity is key to innovation. Success is not guaranteed. I thank you very much for this recognition, but I would be more honored if I could see this group proactively innovate in new ways and transform our industry and truly explore space. Thank you.
I think this might be appropriate being in a baseball stadium. Hey, hey, let's hear it for Gerst. Last but not least, we have the opportunity to honor a whole team of individuals. Our 2021 Goddard Memorial Trophy winner, the NASA and SpaceX Crew Demo 2 team, represented here tonight by NASA's Associate Administrator for the Space Operations Mission Directorate, Ms. Kathy Leaders. You're going to have to stay still while I say good things about you now. The joint NASA-SpaceX team is honored for the successful Demo 2 mission. It marked the fulfillment of what had become NASA's aspirational mantra following the retirement of Space Shuttle in 2011, to once again launch American astronauts on American rockets from American soil. As a partnership between NASA and private industry, the Commercial Crew program represents a dramatic change from the traditional business arrangements with industry. SpaceX's launch of its Crew Dragon spacecraft with NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley took place on May 30th, 2020 from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. This is the first time that a private company had flown astronauts to the ISS. After a 2-month stay, the Dragon capsule safely returned the crew to Earth, splashing down in the Gulf of Mexico and bringing the mission to a successful conclusion. I am delighted to present the 2020 Goddard Memorial Trophy to Ms. Kathy Leaders of the NASA and SpaceX Crew Demo 2 team.
You got it? Help me.
Oh, okay.
You gotta help me.
I'm not going to put my hand around his neck.
Thank you. That thing is really heavy, so I needed a little help with holding that. And Helen and Yash, you did awesome. You did awesome. I think Gerson and I wanted to go home. Thank you to the National Space Club for this honor. This is truly a goldfish moment. I'm so happy, Gersh, you're here because I stole this from you, your idea. You told me you're wearing the goldfish tie, so. I am showing my age by using a Far Side cartoon reference. For those of you that aren't Far Side fans, I'm referring to a particular cartoon where the Marauders are storming the castle, and as they're crossing the drawbridge with arrows raining down on them, one of the invaders looks down into the moat and says, "Look, there's goldfish." In this crazy year, with incredible changes and obstacles being thrown at us, we are celebrating some pretty amazing goldfish moments. And it's funny, because the folks that are all sitting in this row over here, we haven't even had a chance to celebrate our Demo 2 goldfish moments. I'm incredibly grateful for folks in that row there. Hans, I want you to wave. And Bala. Joe. Stitch, Rajib, Matt, and there's so many more folks here that contributed to that mission. You know, it was hard. It was frustrating. There were many tough moments, but no one quit. And it was accomplished through hard work by so many who I view as heroes along the way. Doug and Bob, the dads, spending many hours in Hawthorne, and who kept training for the flight as we reverted to COVID protections. The training and operations team who retooled and found ways to keep them safe while getting them ready to fly. The technicians who worked long hours carefully assembling and testing hardware, carefully torquing and sealing every single fastener, and RTVing every single seam line. The suit seamstresses, Helen, you still have an opportunity here, who carefully built each suit. The parachute guys across multiple sites who packed, tested, camped out, tested even more. Even though I did notice the accommodations got better for them over time. There was an RV there at the end, if I remember. Tyler had an RV, went from tents to an RV. The McGregor team that performed titanium N204 tests at amazing speeds. The recovery folks who went out in some pretty rough seas. More COP tank material tests and assessments than I even care to think about. Folks driving back roads into Texas to do material testing. Too many control boards. Stitch, you always love those. The folks that closed software tickets and did Hancock reviews and answered a ton of NASA questions. And God bless all the folks that survived those arduous engineering review boards. Joe and Bala's personal favorites. And all the while, there were so many families that put up with us, sometimes patiently. Thank you, Jeremy. I know this heroism is not unique to just this team. Like Gersh said, this is an amazing time for us. We are dreamers, and the passion and dedication of our workforce is what is making the previously thought impossible, possible. And I am so grateful we don't know how to quit doing that. We are at the cusp of so many great things by so many people, government, private industry, international communities. It is what makes this a unique time. I see in the reflection of the pool of accomplishments by so many in this room a glimmer of so many more goldfish moments to come. I suggest that none of you wait 16 months to celebrate them. I want to close with my personal favorite Demo 2 Goldfish moment. Seeing Bob and Doug walk off that plane at Ellington and knowing that the team had brought them safely home to their families. All of those heroes, I am proud to accept this for them. Thank you.
All right, Kathy, you don't get off that easy. One more baseball cheer for Kathy and the SpaceX team. Congratulations. Before we wrap up the program, please give me the opportunity to thank the people who made tonight and the educational endeavors over the past 2 years a success for the Space Club. Events like this don't come together without a tremendous amount of work, and 5 times over for this event, actually. First, an enormous thank you to my fellow Space Club board members for their time, dedication, and enthusiasm throughout the years. It has been an honor and privilege to serve with you. Our successes have been the result of a team effort. Susan Nelson from Collins, Lisa Monaco from Jacobs, Robbie Sabatier from ULA, Joe Valencia from Ball Aerospace, Megan Allen from Sierra Nevada, Ann Connor from Harris, Past President Pete Traynor from BAE Systems, Past President Jill Pomeroy from Northrop Grumman, and last but not least, the immediate past president, Ann Zilkowski from Lockheed Martin. All I can say is I'm happy we're in that stadium because she's a tough act to follow. Congratulations and thank you for all your help. Further credit goes to the club's hidden but executive director, Annette Summers. She is the power behind making all this happen. She has a talented crew, Sheila Crowley, Tori Nickerson, and the rest of the dedicated and professional members of the GA team. We're very fortunate to have them working with us. I would also like to thank the leadership team at Boeing Washington, D.C. operations, who supported my efforts for this great endeavor. Finally, I'd like to thank my COVID roommate and still my best friend, my wife, Karis. As you continue to enjoy the evening, I hope you will take a moment to reflect and remind yourself of why you do what you do. Your work supports science, exploration, the youth, and especially the many servicemen and women who defend this great country. Let us give one last round of applause to all of our award winners tonight. You are all a true inspiration.